Yes, what a massive win. Leeds United 3, Fulham 0. Oh, lads and lasses, I'm absolutely buzzing about that one. We were sat there for the entirety of this, so I'm sorry about the background. You get to see my entire kitchen and my entire room. But we had to move everything back because of logistics. Anyway, enough of that rubbish. Wow, what a win. There's my sleeve. Let's fold it down. Absolutely massive win for Leeds United. I was coming into this game absolutely papping myself. Reason behind that, Fulham, good team, energetic, lots of skill, lots of quality in and out the channels. Everything, they've got so much sort of, just literally quality. There's no other word. From the back line to the front line, and we saw that in the first 45. Tyler Roberts started, I saw it, I quivered a little bit. I just thought he'd get gobbled up a little bit by Harrison Reed in that centre attacking midfield role, but it doesn't matter, and we'll get onto that in the second half. But that first half, for the first time in Leeds United and Marcelo Bielsa's tenure in charge of this club, Leeds were mauled in that first half. Absolutely mauled. Knockout 3 or 4 efforts. Mitrovic just wide. And I thought we went in unjust, really. You know, we went 1-0 up and I thought it was very unjust. But a lovely little break. Costa breaking down, gets it off Harriata. Harriata's going to go back in the fruit markets down at Green Street now. His career in football's done. Absolutely done by Helder Costa down the wing. Lovely little ball cut across Patrick Bamford. An uncharacteristically accurate, precise and clinical finish, which we're not used to saying about Patrick Bamford, are we? But great finish from him. But I thought as the half went on, Leeds were developing a little bit of a pattern of panicking again, and we went into that Cardiff mould where we were hoofing the ball, and you're hoofing the ball to Michael Hector, who should be in the top 10 of a Premier League side, in my personal opinion. I think he could fit in anywhere in the top 10 of that division. I think he's that good, and I think maybe Frank Lampard's going to start utilising him maybe next year for Chelsea. I do think he is that good, and you know, you're playing that ball, you're hoofing that ball to Patrick Bamford. He's never going to win it. It's bread and butter. And Ayling and Dallas, I thought our fullbacks were a little bit rigid. We were losing the ball. We weren't confident on the ball. And that is not Leeds United. We are confident on the ball always. And that's what grinds teams down. That's what encourages fitness. That's what encourages our high press. And that's what encourages mistakes from the opposition teams and goals for Leeds United. So I was a little bit worried that first half. You know, me and Joe were doing the watch along. If you did the watch along, thank you for coming along. It was a good one this time because we won. A lot of energy into the goals. I think I nearly flipped off my my rail of Leeds shirts, and yeah, it was just a great experience doing it with Joe, and I loved it. And listen, we got into the halftime. We needed halftime. We really, really needed halftime. We got it, and it was interesting how it panned over to Scotty Parker, and you saw him go like that because he knew he had Leeds on the ropes, and when we went in, things were going to happen, things were going to change. They did. You know, let's also touch on the you know, we don't want to talk. I want to talk about the positives of the performance, but Mitrovic, you sir, should have been sent off within about how many minutes was it? 10, 11 minutes. Disgrace, absolute disgrace. The police class that essentially as a weapon. You know, he's going in, bang, straight into Ben White's chin. And this is the honesty of Marcelo Bielsa's outfit. He doesn't roll around and roll around and roll around like we saw when Knockout got tapped on the ankle, or when Mitrovic got something similar with Ayling when he actually went up for a header and just knocked him on the back of the head. Mitrovic goes down, rolling around 6 or 7 times. Ben White gets it full on in the jaw, bang, straight from Alexander Mitrovic. You know, there'd been no coming together at all, and that was all from Craven Cottage, and you sort of got a Roy Keane, Alfie Haaland vibe about it. There was clearly some intention there. You know, Ben White had a really good game against Mitrovic, up to the point of Mitrovic, you know, I think he got a little bit of joy in the final 15 minutes against Ben White at Craven Cottage, but Mitrovic doesn't like it, and he doesn't like being pocketed. And for the second half, where were you, Alexander? We're still looking for you. Like Liverpool are still looking for Gary Neville, we're still looking for Mitrovic. You know, I'm not getting ahead of myself here, but it is just poetic karma when someone like that goes in with something like that on someone else's chin. Because, you know, in everyday society, you'd get arrested for that. It was a shocking challenge. And if the FA, the EFL, whoever's taking charge, has any any sort of moralities or ethics about it. That guy gets a minimum 3-game ban. That was disgusting. As well, the ball, I think it was Calvin or it was one of the Leeds players on the floor, Knockaert just sort of stamps on him, gets away with it, then starts going and complaining to the referee. The Fulham team were in the referee's ear from moment one. And you could tell it's the experience, the Premier League experience, where everything sort of happens up there when you're in the referee's ear. It puts pressure on the referee and they start making decisions. But thankfully, this referee didn't. He held his own and he was strong. And it was a really good refereeing performance, aside from that Mitrovic mishap where he should have been sent off. And I'm hoping there's retrospective action against that man, because there is no chance he should be playing that next game with that. Because that was an assault on Ben White. It really was. It was shocking. And fair play to Ben White for going down on the floor, getting over it and then getting up and getting on with the game and pocketing Alexander Mitrovic for that last 45. We get in at half-time. Pablo Hernandez comes on. Alioski comes on. Bamford and Costa go off to all of our surprises, especially on the live stream. And then, it all changed. Pablo comes on, the ball's coming into him. He's just silky. Absolutely silky. Harrison Reed's now not only thinking about how he's moving forward, because Tyler Roberts wasn't picking him up as much, and Harrison Reed was getting a lot of free rein, and it was putting more pressure on Calvin Phillips, more pressure on Matthias Klick. But as soon as Pablo came on, you saw just the class. At one point, he turned Knockaert and Harrison Reed inside out, and he was just a complete difference, and Leeds' whole game changed. You saw Mitrovic didn't even touch the ball. You saw Joe Bryan getting carted off towards the end. They're making about 4 or 5 subs in that second half. Parker didn't know what to do. Pablo came on. Tyler up front gave us so many more movements. It wasn't all just about that ball going and Bamford trying to win the header against Hector. It was in and out of the channels. Tyler making those lovely runs, and that is his position for me. He's a centre forward. He's not a centre attacking midfielder. He doesn't work that well there for me. He'll play 2 games there and then 2 bad games there for me, because, he has to pick up a midfield player and the defensive aspect isn't part of Tyler's game. So as soon as he was in that front aspect, he was causing Hector and Ream so many problems. If you just look at the link-up play in that second half between Pablo, between Klick, between Tyler, it all changed. And everyone's performance increased because of Pablo Hernandez. What a little magician that guy is. And for me, this was the best performance of the season for me, as I've just said, because everything encompassed this game. We look at West Brom, we look at Brentford earlier on in the season at home. The positive aspects about those games were the fact that Leeds United were able to defensively keep out two of the most prominent offensive outlets in the division. We did that again with Fulham, and this time, for the first half, we were completely battered, which has never happened under Marcelo Bielsa's tenure. It happened today, and we still went in at half-time, gritty and assured, partially assured, I would say, at 1-0. And that is huge. The second half, you saw a different dynamic. You saw the old Leeds, you saw the keeping the ball, you saw the high press, which it just came out of us, That high press came out of absolutely nowhere, and Fulham were just booting the ball out. They couldn't connect the passes in and between the lines, and everything sort of changed. Leeds were winning the second balls. Leeds were winning the first balls, and they couldn't contain us. And as soon as we hit them on 3 separate counter-attacks, which Fulham can't do, but Leeds can do, it shows the prevalence and the necessity of having a counter-attacking presence in this division, which Leeds United have got, and it showed for all of those 3 goals. I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm so proud of that performance, and genuinely, I think we're going to do it. So that's me. That is Conor, all out, and let's get on to Luton. And I'm praying, please, Leeds, if you're listening, any of you, which I presume you're not, but if you are, let's do this. You'll have no better time in your lives to be lauded in a city and at a club like this. Come on, Leeds.